Venus in the second house. So the second house is the house of everything material, and it is also an earth house. It is a very, very slow house. Like things in the second house are like very grounded, very down to earth and evolve and move very slowly. And it is also the house of ownership. If we see the houses of the zodiac as stages of evolvement of a human, for example, the first house would be this little, child, like freshly born, just very self-centered, like all about what I want. The second house would be this stage of development when the child becomes aware of its separation from its parents. It's like, oh, I am actually a separate entity. And being a separate entity, I own myself and I can also own different things. And it is the house of ownership. So it's like, oh, this is mine and this is mine and that's mine. So I think this gives you a little bit of an introduction of how Venus in the second house is. So Venus in the second house, as seen by other people. First of all, as seen by other people, they're definitely very chill. Like they're very chill, very slow. They're all just like, don't stress me out, just relax, we're gonna hook up eventually, let's just chill and let things unfold slowly. Give me time to think about this. They never rush into any decision. They're just very, very laid back and very slow in making decisions. Apart from that, yeah, they have this materialistic streak, obviously, because the second house is the house of the material. So they love to own a lot of things, and they love to own a lot of beautiful things, because the second house is also the house of Venus. So Venus is kind of at home in this house. It can really, unfold all of its Venusian qualities, and it can sometimes even be a little bit of too much of Venusian qualities. So people with a Venus in the second house can be very obsessed with, buying luxurious things, like having expensive stuff, beautiful cars, beautiful houses, beautiful everything. They can really, really love all of this Venusian luxury in their life. They can place a lot of emphasis on that. And yeah, they are in this stage of development, or of the second house, where they feel like, I want to know what's mine. I would like to own my things, and for them, it's very hard to go into a sharing. They just like to draw this clear line between what's mine and what's yours. Very much, even in a relationship, they still like keep this quality of like really wanting to, separate, especially on the material level. And the second house is also the opposite of the eighth house. Like the eighth house is all about merger and deep connection and being, codependent, expecting things from another and depending on another, allowing oneself to depend on another, like giving oneself over to another. That's kind of the eighth house. And the second house is all the opposite. It's like, I am like myself. I am actually pretty self-sufficient and I don't really need you. But if we're gonna like do something with each other, if we're gonna hook up or be in a relationship, we are still two separate individuals. This is kind of the Venus in the second house behavior. So this drawing the line between me and you is always very clear. The line between what's mine and what's yours is always very clear. So they struggle with merging. They struggle with, really letting go of this individuality and self-sufficiency, because they are very self-sufficient. They can take care and they feel like very resourceful because Venus is in its own house. It feels like I have everything I need, I'm full. I have all the talent, I have all the sensuality. I can, like even masturbate all day. I don't even need you. That's how they feel. Like they feel very, very full and abundant, and they don't necessarily feel like they need anybody or anything. So they don't really see a reason why they should, share or merge with somebody else. What they feel like is like, I have, so much to give. I am so lovely. I love to pleasure myself. So how are you going to pleasure me? That's kind of their question. If you come to them, they want to know how you can pleasure them. Because they really, like, it's like a Venusian overkill. So they are extremely turned towards pleasure. They are very sensual. They love enjoying. They love treating themselves with all, nice things in the world, with foods, with massages, with oils, with whatever they can find, beautiful clothes, expensive dinners. They love treating themselves. They will spend a lot of money on themselves, because they just love enjoying sensual pleasures and sensory pleasures, like eating, touching, feeling, hearing, music, whatever it is. They love this stuff. And they are very much in their body, like very connected to the physical. This five senses are our physical apparatus, our physical body. So Venusian people with Venus in the second house are very connected to that. They're very much in their body, and this gives them like such a attraction, like this quality of being in your body, and like constantly, like feeling, like pleasurable and lush, really gives them a very, very high level of attraction. They just look like, when you see them, they have this energy of like you want to like lick them and eat them up. They look like really lush, like a really nice candy or something. They usually have this kind of lush energy because that's how they feel about themselves, like and they're constantly like, yeah, they're constantly present in their senses. They're constantly feeling and enjoying, like how they move, how they dance. They're enjoying so much everything that they perceive in the physical world, and that definitely gives them a very high attraction. Um, and they love enjoying, especially, physical pleasures and physical pleasures with other people. But people with Venus in the second house are actually one of the best ones to separate very clearly physical pleasure and actual serious commitment. For them, that is to totally separate things. Like actually, enjoying physical pleasures with another person, for them doesn't mean anything. It's like just part of who they are, of how they naturally unfold themselves. They love to be pleasured. They love to receive pleasure, to give pleasure. So that means not much to them. They can enjoy that with almost anybody. Like they really love to enjoy sensuality, but when it comes to commitment, that's a whole other story, because that's when you actually want to step into their life and start sharing something with them. And this is where they have a really hard time letting somebody in, and where they are very slow and take a lot of time to process and to consider if you can add enough value to their life. How they see themselves basically is they think they're very sensible and rational and wise, and they are not snappy. They don't make any quick decisions, so they know that they are, like pretty grounded. And they also know that they take things slowly. They like to take their time to think very thoroughly before making any decisions. And like I said before, they feel pretty self-sufficient. So there is this self-confidence and self-worth that comes out of this feeling of abundance, of being resourceful and not being needy at all. Now, if you want to get one of those, it is hard to convince somebody who already feels like they got everything that they need you, right? So you definitely gotta prove in a very real sense that you can add value to their life. So, like I said, they are materialistic. So, where you can reach them is definitely through the material in any way. Like, you can offer them either, luxurious dinners or expensive gifts, or something on the physical, like you can offer them like a massage or a day in the spa. Like, they will love any kind of gift you make them, and the more expensive it is, the better. Like, they really enjoy this. And the more it is about them and pleasing them, the more they will enjoy it. Um, yeah, basically, they just love to treat themselves, and so should you. You should be ready to, try to give them as much pleasure as they possibly can enjoy. Now, when um, they commit to a relationship, when they finally consider that actually, you are a person that they that adds value to their life, that is worthy of connecting, and that you can somehow support them in their pursuit of pleasure and sensibility and material wealth, then for them it is a huge decision. Like when they actually commit to something, people with Venus in the second house, for them it's very hard to let go because they don't like changes. If there's something a Taurus, sorry, not a Taurus, a Venus in the second house hates, it is change. So they so much so that they will even prefer to stay in a really like negative scenario that they know and that they have been in for a long time than to change to a more positive scenario that they don't really know. Like that's how much they hate change. So for these folks, it's like it's pretty common to stick in a relationship forever. It's like those guys that you see being in a toxic relationship for years, and when you ask them like how is it, they're like, it's all right, it's gonna be better. They just have this mindset of everything, will eventually work out if I put enough effort in. This is this quality of the second house, this master builder quality. Second house people are kind of master builders. They have this energy of slowly and steadily building up on a very strong foundation, and that's kind of their mindset. They feel like if I just keep building, if I just keep investing slowly, this relationship is going to get better. And they have a very hard time, yeah, understanding that actually this relationship is not going anywhere and to let go. When they let go, it will be, very strong. They will just cut you out of their life and they will never, ever talk to you again. Because they have, again, very, very strong borders, very strong borders. It's like either you're mine or you're not. Like if you're not mine anymore, you're not, near nothing. You're like behind this line and you're not in my life. Yeah. So if you want to get with them, you definitely can't come across as some free-spirited adventurer. They don't like this. They like safety and stability, and you need to show that you are a predictable person, that they can know what they expect from you. They don't like surprises either. They like monotony. They don't like change. They like things to be stable and to be the same. So when they get into a relationship, they really don't like big changes. They don't like you to change as a person. They want you to stay the same, and they probably will also stay the same. They are very, very slow in making changes. So yeah, they are kind of aware of these qualities of themselves, and this is why they take a long time in order to make decisions about a serious commitment. But yeah, once they do, I think they are a really amazing partner that doesn't need much because they already feel self-sufficient, that is extremely lush, extremely Venusian, extremely sensual, sexual, that will always enjoy and really appreciate anything you have to give, and that won't expect much of you in terms of, like, working on problems or becoming a better person. All they will expect from you is to give them a sense of stability and to let them know that you are theirs, because like I said in the beginning, they love to own their stuff. Any notion of you possibly like being interested in somebody else or wanting to be with somebody else, they will get really, really, really angry. Like what makes a Taurus angry is if you take away something that is theirs. And I probably don't even need to mention cheating, like or open relationships. It's just not on the plate. Don't plan on this when you're with these guys. They love to own their stuff, and they love their stuff to be steady, predictable, and secure. So that's my take on Venus in the second house. Let me know what you think.